Definitely one of the best in the league at what he does, Matthew Tkachuk has seemingly mastered the art of being one of the best at getting under his opponent's skin. And while he seemingly gained the reputation of being a rat, Tkachuk has also simultaneously made a lot of enemies while doing so. In this video, I'm going to count down to the player that hates Matthew Tkachuk the most. And with that, here are the top 4 players that hate Matthew Tkachuk. So you might be wondering, if you don't yet know, how a guy who faces Tkachuk twice a season would despise him so much. Well, when you're that good at stirring the pot, let's just say that anything's possible.
During a TV timeout following a fight, he decided to confront Luke Wisnowski, who was at the time being escorted to the dressing room by an official.
In response to the tap, Wisnowski quickly succumbed to Tkachuk's ploy. Wisnowski could be shown making a beeline back to the playing surface in order to give the Flames forward a piece of his mind, and probably his fists if he could. But instead, Wisnowski would be giving a piece of his salary away as discipline, as the defenseman received a 10-game suspension, which is apparently standard punishment to fit this sort of action. Wisnowski ended up forfeiting around $40,000, and for a guy who's making around $700,000, that's a little more than just pocket change. Tkachuk, for his role in the incident, only received a 1-game suspension. The Battle of Alberta. 2 teams that clearly hate each other for obvious reasons. Every time both teams square off, it's pretty much a guarantee that you'll be getting your money's worth. And the regular season game that took place on Saturday, January 11th of this year was no different. Tkachuk, of course, wasn't immune to getting in on the action with James Neal's teammate, Zack Kassian. Neal, who had a better visual than most, didn't hold back when questioned by the media concerning his take on Tkachuk and the events that took place, saying, "No one wants to see that hit. That hit's been gone out of the game for a long time. Guys like Raffi Torres or Steve Downey, those guys are getting 15-game suspensions and being done in the league for hits like that. He chases him down and targets his head. The whole thing is kind of ridiculous, especially how he talks after with the tracks thing is just stupid. You don't see guys doing that to other guys because they have respect," he says. And in case you haven't caught on yet, Matthew Tkachuk, throughout the last tilt between Alberta's 2 NHL teams, quickly worked his way up Kassian's hate list. Why? Well, when a guy goes around making careless plays such as this and various other punishing blows, it eventually gets old. And for Zack Kassian, who is known by his peers as being an NHL tough guy, took no exception to the final hit that Calgary's top pest would deliver his way in the contest. As Kassian, who was clearly seeing right at this point, immediately singled out Tkachuk and proceeded to deliver multiple punishing blows to the forward. Tkachuk, however, decided to respond by not responding and allowed Kassian to have his way with him until the officials could break things up. Following the game, the rivalry continued as both players threw shade at one another through the media. Tkachuk was first to unload on camera, saying, "If he doesn't want to get hit, then stay off the tracks. Caught him 3 times there, so you'd think he'd learn about the first one. But if he wants to react like that, then we'll take the power play, the game winner, and we'll move on in first place," he says. And as you could imagine, Kassian had some retaliatory comments in response, saying, "I'd do it all over again. If you're going to play big boy hockey, then you have to answer the bell sometimes. And he clearly hasn't done that his whole career," Kassian says. "You play with fire, eventually you're going to get burned. He messed with the wrong guy. I don't think he realizes we play in the same division." I don't think Kassian realized he just made a huge Flames pun there. But anyways, the chirping didn't end there, as Kassian proceeded to call Tkachuk a punk and a Okay, you know you were expecting this. I mean, yeah, sure, the whole Kassian thing was brutal, but these two have been going at it since Tkachuk's rookie year. And in a league with rivalries such as these dying off more and more, you best believe it's an NHL fan's dream. From countless shoves to slashes to chirps between the two, it's pretty easy to realize that these two clearly hate each other. And the incident that really kickstarted the distaste between the two took place during Tkachuk's debut season. As Doughty skated behind the cage in the final seconds of the first period, he was viciously upended compliments of Tkachuk's elbow. The careless act resulted in the Flames rookie being dealt a 2-game suspension, and Doughty later speaking his mind regarding the altercation. He's a dirty player. To be a rookie and play like that is a little surprising, he says. When questioned about the suspension himself, Tkachuk showed little remorse, saying, "I'm not changing my game at all," he says. And just in case you had any doubts about Tkachuk being Drew's ultimate rival, there's also this statement Doughty gave towards the end of the 2018-19 season, saying, "No respect for him, none. I respect everyone else. I'll never talk to him off the ice," he says. Regardless, I think it's safe to say, just like the Cassian feud, this one isn't going away anytime soon.